What is going on, guys? My name is Bucky Roberts and welcome to your very first tutorial in Less. L-E-S-S. Now, my guess is that if you're watching this video, then you probably heard of Less before or maybe read a few things online and you're like, okay, apparently this is something that's supposed to make writing CSS a whole lot better, a whole lot easier. But I'm not sure exactly what it is or why it's useful at all. Well, I'll give you guys like the 2-second introduction and talk to you guys about a couple features. And I don't want to bet on this too long because I actually want to get into actually typing and showing you guys a bunch of examples. But one of the really cool features about Less is this. Say that you're using this color like, I don't know, maybe a red color all across your website in every CSS file. Now, if your boss comes in one day and he's like, Bucky, well, your name wouldn't be Bucky, but he would say to me, he's like, Bucky, you need to change this red color to blue. Well, I would have to go through my entire file, which could be thousands of lines long, find all the instances of red and change it to blue, blue, blue. It's going to take forever. Well, with Less, one of the things that you can do is make variables, or in other words, placeholders, so you can change it in one location and it updates your entire file automatically. It's awesome. And another thing that is useful, and I actually had this problem recently, is that say in your CSS files you had a bunch of images, I don't know, maybe for like backgrounds or icons, whatever. Now, if you ever move that directory to, let's say, I don't know, like inside another directory, well then you would have to go through your CSS file, and for the file path, you would have to give it a new updated location. That's going to take forever too. Well, with Less, it takes care of that problem, as we're going to see. So you're like, all right, you sold me on it. How do I, start typing Less, download it, setting it up, getting it ready? Well, the first thing that you need to do is you need to install Node.js. This is going to allow you to easily install, download and install Less. And I'm not going to show you how to download and install Node in this tutorial because I already filmed it in my Node.js tutorial. So if you don't know, or if you want to be walked through that, then just go ahead over to my Node.js tutorial, the first video, and watch that, and then come back here. I mean, it's pretty easy. You just click this big green button, then press next a whole bunch of times. But if you guys, want to see me doing it and make sure you don't mess anything up, then go watch that video. Now, once you have Node.js installed on your computer, this is what you do. Open up the command line, and if you go to your start menu and press CMD, then it's going to open up on Windows. I'm guessing you guys know how to open this up already. And from here, I'll minimize this so not to distract you guys, type this, npm install -g less. Now, whenever we download a node, we got this thing called an npm tool, which is Node Package Manager. It's pretty much a fancy tool that lets us download and install stuff from the internet really easily. That's all it is. So what we're saying is, hey Node, install Less, so we can use it on our computer. Now this -g right here, this is saying install it in global mode. In other words, we want to be able to use this Less technology anywhere on our computer. And I'm not going to press enter, but you guys press enter. I already have it installed, so I don't want to reinstall it and mess everything up. But essentially, the reason we want to install it globally is because if we don't, then we're going to have to install it in each individual project that we make, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. So just do it that way. It's the easiest way. So now we should have Node.js and Less installed on our computer. Now, here's the thing. Less is a very specific syntax, and browsers, they don't understand Less. The code I'm going to be typing, browsers don't understand it. So you're like, then what's the point of these videos? Well, in order to use Less, what you need to do is you actually need to translate it into CSS, because browsers only understand CSS. So essentially what we're going to be doing is writing Less and translating it into CSS, and then our browsers are going to be using that. Sounds confusing, but trust me, it's not. And just to give you guys a real quick example of this, if you go to this winless.org online Less compiler, this is just an online tool that lets you easily see what's going on behind the scenes. So basically we're going to be writing syntax like this, and it looks confusing right now, but trust me, you guys are going to see how awesome this really is. And this is what we're going to be writing. And behind the scenes, the tool that we're going to be setting up is going to be taking this code and translating it into standard CSS. So this is all CSS that you're familiar with. That's what your browser is going to see, and this is what we're going to be writing. Alright, simple enough. So I need a compiler or a translator tool to convert less code that we write into CSS. Where do I get one? Well, there's actually a bunch of different ones online, and depending on your operating system, whether you have Windows or a Mac or Linux, then you want to download one specific and that's actually compatible with your system. And the one I'm going to be using in my tutorial is actually built right in to JetBrains or IntelliJ, whatever IDE you're using. So instead of talking to you guys how to install them all, go ahead to the Less website, and they're called compilers, technically, not translators. So search for a best, like the best Less compiler for Mac or best Less compiler for Windows, and download whatever one you want to use. But essentially, they're all the same. They're all going to translate Less code to CSS. So once you have it downloaded and installed, whatever one you want, then you're ready to move on to the next video. And in the next video, I am going to be showing you guys how to set it up if you're using a JetBrains IDE like me. And if you guys aren't using this IDE, then you can just skip to the third video and we'll start actually getting into the Less syntax. Sounds awesome? See you then.